Doom Nation, what's up, guys? We are back again with a special guest, our boy Trill, and it is another Doomed review. And you guys want to tell them what we're reviewing?
Yeah, man. I'm back too, as well, for the Hawkeye
Yes.
reviews. Thanks for introducing me, Cap.
Well, you're a staple here. It's you're one of the two, so
good to know. So yes, it is Hawkeye episode 5, Ronin. Trill, like we said, is joining us from the Last Slice podcast. What up, brother? How you doing?
What's up, internets? What's going on?
How you been, man?
Doing good. Yeah, man. I can't wait for that.
For Doom Nation out there, we will be having our Christmas special. We're recording it this Saturday. And when should it be? Probably right before Christmas Eve-ish.
Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. We'll see.
Yeah.
See how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, so Trill, I know you watched this episode earlier in the day. So you must have been just like bursting at the seams to talk about it all day. Because I just watched it. I just finished it about 5 minutes ago. I can barely contain myself.
I know. I'm glad I'm doing it this way because I just jumped off my chair and through the ceiling.
So. Oh my god! Now I'm a madman. When these shows come out, I literally watch at like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm nuts.
God. Really?
I'm a madman.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were up last night and you watched it.
Yep.
What time do they actually like drop? At midnight, or is it like in the middle of the morning?
So for the East Coast, they drop at 3 a.m. and then on the West Coast, I believe it's at midnight. They drop.
Okay.
So you're one of those. You're one of those people that's literally like refreshing your Disney Plus app,
bro.
waiting for.
This is the people who drop the spoilers are up at the same time he is doing the same shit, man.
Yeah, I do get that because man, some people just have no chill when it comes to spoilers.
Literally no remorse. It's like crazy.
I'm glad I'm seeing Spider-Man Friday because I know people can't wait. I'm sure there'll be leaked footage now. By the time we're done recording this, there'll be something leaked.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do about that because I'm not sure when I'm going to be able to see it. So we'll have to figure something out. But yeah, man. So let's get into this episode. Started off really crazy, really cool. With Yelena, obviously Romanov.
Yes.
And I got some questions, and I figured we could debate exactly what the hell happened. But she's like in that house, like she's breaking people out of being widows, which is where we kind of picked up with her, or left off with her, sorry, in the Black Widow movie, right?
Yeah.
This is so now it was 2018. This is like after the events of the Black Widow movie that recently came out, and she goes to the bathroom, and the Thanos snap happens, and she's dusted, and then she just reappears immediately within like a split second.
Yeah.
So obviously we all know what the Thanos snap dust thing is, but I was under the impression when you got snapped away that you went into like the Soul Stone universe thing, and she didn't. It was like instantaneous. Like you're kind of like when you go to sleep and then you wake up and you feel like no time passed whatsoever. That's what happened.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that?
So I think we kind of saw it from what her actual perspective of it was. Like, I'm sure in those 5 years she was in the Soul Stone, that field where Thanos and Gamora met, I believe.
Right. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So, but remember from WandaVision, was it Wanda? Yeah, WandaVision. Who was the chick that ended up getting the superpower?
Oh, Monica Rambeau.
Monica, yeah. When you ask Monica, she said it was like 5 seconds. The same, and so like we saw her come back on that day 5 years later in the hospital. Because it happened while she was at the hospital next to her mother who was dying. This is the point of view of like the same bathroom from the same, like the person's point of view. They saw themselves turn to dust, and then poof, 2 seconds later they were back. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was like kind of cool. Like they did a different like take on it. Like you saw like the room like change and all that when she came back. which
Right,
was
'cause
like
time
pretty
had
dope.
passed. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like a really cool idea that they did that.
What confuses me about it is, like I was saying, because that, like that Soul Stone realm, and I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but I remember when Peter Parker came back, he mentioned how they were there, and Doctor Strange was like, you know, it's time to go. We're going back, or something like that, which leads me to believe like they were like physically present in some other dimension.
Well,
I don't know. Is
so
there kind of a loophole, maybe a little bit?
there
Story
could be a
hole?
loophole, but I don't think everyone was together. So correct me if I'm wrong. Spider-Man was with Doctor Strange when they got snapped, right?
Yeah.
Because Iron Man watched him go, and they were with the Guardians, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, and Iron Man.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
just You go ahead. Finish making your point, but I just figured it out. Yeah.
So wherever that Soul Stone took him to, whatever universe or dimension that was, Peter spent that time there with Doctor Strange. Whereas what's her name? Romanoff's sister was by herself, maybe.
So
yeah,
I didn't think that's what you were going to say. I think I like, while you were talking, I just kind of figured it out.
Yeah.
When Peter Parker said, Doctor Strange like came and was like, we got to go and help out everybody. I think it's because when they were unsnapped, they were on Titan, which is where they were dusted when they were snapped. So I think the Hulk snapped everybody back. Doctor Strange, Peter Parker, whoever else was there on Titan came back on Titan, and Doctor Strange is like, we're back. Let's go. Portals them back to Earth to fight in the battle of Endgame. So I think this kind of almost confirms that there was no Soul Stone realm that everybody went into and was just like waiting for 5 years.
Right.
It was instantaneous. They were here, then they weren't here, and then they were back instantly.
They were basically removed from time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought it was kind of like I guess like how like you go to sleep, it feels like it's been like hours, but it's like only been like maybe a couple of seconds or maybe a minute you've been like asleep or whatever. So that's what I thought when like the characters got snapped. It was something like that, because then they came back and they're like, whoa, like what happened? Like I was just here like a minute ago, but it's been 5 years. So
yeah, so that definitely seems to be what it is. I like how they left it a little bit ambiguous, if that's the right word. And how like the Thanos snap, man, like the Thanos thing has still had such repercussions, like years later. When did Infinity War come out? Was it 2018 when that?
I think it was 2018.
Right. Yeah, because Endgame was 2023, right?
Right, 5 years later.
So in the MCU, it's so right now, since it's Christmas time, it's got to be close to like 2025 now.
Yeah,
I think so.
There.
Yeah, it's been like a year. Well, right now in the MCU, I think it's been a year past since they defeated Thanos on Earth and all that, and they did like the whole time heist mission and stuff. So
it's just crazy how long it's been since the Infinity War movie came out.
I know.
I mean, man, like how different is the world from in real life from when Infinity War came out? Simpler times, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, just think about Avengers the first time they assembled.
Yeah.
That was my God, how old were we?
Shit. That was 2012.
2012.
Yeah.
And that was in this episode, that was a cool little
I loved it. Favorite part of it, man.
Clint was standing in front of we've been there before in that exact location too, a few times. For SantaCon, actually.
Yeah.
Come to think of it, which just passed, and Christmas themed.
Yeah.
Him standing in front of that plaque of the Avengers and whatnot for the Battle of New York. I really appreciated that they like made that plaque and they like actually spent a minute showing you it so you could actually read it, instead of sometimes shows will like show you something that's really cool, but for a split second and you can't make it out. Like, no, they gave you a chance to like be in the emotion of that moment as if you were Clint and actually read it. So that was really well done, I thought.
Yeah, that was beautiful. That was a great little moment.
Yeah, I love that. Like when they showed it, I was like, yo, that literally like it hits hard and whatnot, because we've seen it, we've all been there and whatnot. So I thought it was like a nice little touch that they did in the episode.
So the crazy thing is that like Romanoff coming back from the snap was just the opening sequence before before the Hawkeye theme music even played. This was a great episode, man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh man. So where were they?
You know what's surprising? I'm in a couple of Marvel groups, and like this is the lowest watched Disney Plus MCU show so far.
They're missing out.
And I don't know why. Maybe there's some fatigue that we were concerned about, like we spoke about in the first review. But I mean, it's been great. You know, it's if you're not watching it for some reason because you feel fatigued, my fatigue concerns after episode 1 have gone away because it's been so great. Who gives a shit that there's a lot of stuff going on?
Yeah,
I think so. Between watching Eternals and watching 10 Rings, which were both pretty good movies, I didn't dislike them at all. I've enjoyed Loki, Hawkeye, What If. Those 3, I enjoyed them way more than I enjoyed the actual movies. You know, so
I agree with that.
yeah.
I don't think there should be any fatigue right now. If there is, just push through because you're going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that this is a low view.
Yeah, me too. I'm a little shocked.
Especially too with like Spider-Man coming up and all that. Like people would be like kind of like hyped up before the movie drops, and they would want to like watch the show and be like kind of connected to it. So
yeah, just watch it just in case anything. If there's any Easter eggs that you're going to pick up in Spider-Man.
And I think there was.
There was.
Let's get into that right now. There was a moment that has to do with Spider-Man where Yelena was sitting down with Kate and they were talking, and Yelena was like, you know, first time I've been in New York. I want to see all the Christmas things. I want to see the new and improved Statue of Liberty.
Yes.
What is she talking about? We have no idea, right? Well, if you looked at the trailer, spoiler warning for No Way Home, it's not really a spoiler, but the Statue of Liberty is going to be in the Spider-Man movie. So I'm assuming that what we're seeing right now in Hawkeye is happening in the timeline after the events of No Way Home already, because she's alluding to something having happened at the Statue of Liberty.
Well,
and it's new and improved. And that thing that made it new and improved, I think, is coming in Spider-Man. So what we're seeing right now is after No Way Home, I think.
Right. Well, so in the Spider-Man trailer, they redid the Statue of Liberty holding up Captain America's shield.
Yep.
And so that's what they were constructing. But we also got to keep in mind that this, as Wanda is messing, like that end result of like Wanda's little hexagon place coming down and sending the ripples, and then what went on in Loki in the TVA, those could be happening at the exact same time as whatever we're about to witness in Spider-Man No Way Home.
Right, we don't know.
You know?
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of theories. Like, I don't know if you guys seen the video where they put it all 3 shows in like the sequence, or I think it was WandaVision and Loki at the same time, the ending, that it pretty much goes in a sequence at the same time, and that like when Wanda becomes Scarlet Witch, and then when they pretty much kill that version of Kang, it causes like a whole chaos in the multiverse and whatnot, and it's like a free for all. So
yeah, definitely it's possible they're all happening at the same time.
Maybe we'll see. Maybe that'll be like a shocking final scene in what you call it. Well, I don't know. I would say if there would be a time warp in Hawkeye, but this is Christmas and WandaVision happened around. Well, in her universe, it was Halloween. They celebrated. I don't think I don't know what time of the year it was for them, but it wasn't Christmas. It wasn't winter.
It was definitely Halloween because they were.
Well, they celebrated Halloween in her universe. Doesn't mean if it was actually going on outside.
It didn't look that. I don't know.
Didn't they have Christmas too in WandaVision? I think.
I don't remember.
I don't know. One of the shows, boy, if they tie like her alternate reality Christmas time with Hawkeye's reality Christmas time and like Spider-Man, that would be pretty dope. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, man. Oh my god. But yeah, I heard like I think Spider-Man and Hawkeye is taking place at the same time in New York, I think. So supposedly there was like a little tidbit, I guess, with like the musical or whatever.
Rogers.
The Rogers musical.
So there's a possibility that might pop up in the movie.
I hope so.
Like an ad or something for that. So
I hope they're at the musical, man.
I don't imagine see any more of that musical. I hope not.
Oh my god.
Yeah, man. That'd be great. For me, this episode had it all, dude. It had like character development. It started off with a bang. It had like really good character development, a little bit more like mystery, like what's going on exactly. The scene between Yelena and Kate was fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, hon. Let's
go ahead. I was just gonna say that actress who plays Yelena is amazing. She is so good at being like that sarcastic, dry humor, and she was exactly like that in the movie too. And she's still just like nailing the role. But go ahead. were you gonna say?
What after the opening credits? Who started it off? Was it Kate at the house and her mother saw her all beat up?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that wasn't anything special. Then it went to didn't she tell her mother about Jack?
Yeah. Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. That was setting the story keeps moving. Yeah.
Yeah.
Development.
Yep. So that was good. And where did it go after that? Clint went to the guy that regular dude's house.
The LARPers. Yeah.
So I mean, it was kind of. I don't want to say it was slow, but like there was a little bit of bullshit in there. But when did it start? I guess when Yelena, I guess when Yelena and Kate Bishop started talking, that's really where it all took off for the episode.
Yeah, I think I thought it was good though too, because you just came down from like a literal brawl on a rooftop, so you're seeing both of them come down from that first, and I like the way they've shown, like, man, Clint is beat up. And like he's a real person, he's going through the war. So like I appreciated, like, he goes back to the LARPer guy's house and he's like back on the couch and he's fucked up. Like I just appreciate,
we've all been there before.
Feel the how tired it must be to be a normal human Avenger.
Yeah. That's what I'm going to look like on Trill's couch on Saturday night.
Oh my god!
After the Christmas special.
Yeah. With it, but he's got like a much smaller dog, so I'm going to slump way further.
Yeah, we'll be feeding them pizza.
Yo, that's like those Montauk weekends, bro.
Yeah. But instead, you slumped over on the beach, and it's noon.
Yeah, man.
But let's talk about that little chat they had. Kate's getting smarter. She noticed the window right away, but she was too late on like her attack. But also she's getting it down. Like when she was on the phone leaving all those messages, she flicked the coin and broke her window. Now she took the hot sauce right to the face. Like I think we're gonna start to see, like, in the next episode or so, like her hero skills, like the same type of skills that Clint has that makes him the Ronin, but without the blood trail. They're going to start coming out more in Kate. I think, like, because we do know she knows how to use a sword. So because she is a fencer. So I wouldn't be surprised if she picks up Ronin's sword and uses it or something. And we really get to see, like, what the future of the Hawkeye mantle could be like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
Yeah, you know what's going to happen without doubt is she's still going through her, like, trials to prove herself as a superhero. You know what I mean? They even alluded to that, like, I'm not a superhero in this episode.
Yeah.
And one of the criticisms about Falcon and the Winter Soldier is they wasted too much time, like, showing the Falcon, like, proving himself again. It's like, you don't need to prove yourself, bro. Like, everyone knows you're a superhero already. Like, and it wasted too much time a little bit in terms of that. Like with this, she has to prove herself as being a superhero. So that moment definitely is going to come.
Yeah,
I would think.
Yeah. I feel like we kind of got like a little hint at it when when Clint faced Echo at that car dealership thing. Because at the end, you see her in the shadows, something similar to like what Hawkeye did in Thor. Like she's back there and she like literally helped him out and knocked out the sword out of Echo's hand and whatnot. So
I like that scene, man. That felt like Batman. That scene, taking everybody down, like silently and stealthily. That was a Batman like scene right there.
I was eating dinner and watching, and when he threw the bag over that dude's head and dragged him over the car, I put my foot. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. That was mad good. I gotta say, I'm sorry. I'm not Team Echo. I don't like her. The character itself is getting annoying.
Nah,
I get it. She's a strong martial artist assassin, but she's just this brooding ball of anger. And, like
she's his mirror, though. She's his mirror, though. That's what it's character development stuff. He's like resonating with he knows what she's going through, so he's actually trying to help her.
Yeah. I know, it's just I'm not enjoying it. And on top of it, I can't get over the fact she's deaf. How does she drive a motorcycle? You need all your senses to ride a motorcycle. I'm sorry. Okay, like, you're not.
I didn't think of that.
I'm pretty sure they don't like. I don't mean to be mean. I'm not saying anything offensive. It's something I truly don't know. But I don't think you could get a driver's license if you're deaf. Yeah.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, it's something you need. Like, your hearing is a sense that you need, especially on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
This is the MCU though, so they might have different DMV rules.
Yeah.
Compared to the real.
Well, in the MCU they have the oh my god, the speeders from the
Echo
from the
is
Krill
also
and stuff.
Echo is also just a straight up criminal. So she could just be riding a motorcycle without a license. Usually criminals don't follow the law for the most part.
Yeah, they're just like fuck it, like
yeah. But I did think their little fight scene was pretty cool though, because it also again keeps showing you like Clint has lost a step a bit. Right, you just saw him take out the dude cuz bro guys easily, but they're just dumb goons.
Yeah.
But when he had to go up against someone who's like Echo, who's also a trained assassin, like I appreciate that they continue to show he's beat up, right, and he's not Clint from 2012. He's Clint from 2025 or whatever year it is, and he still bested her, but she held her own for the most part against him in the fight. So I feel like they've done a great job at like in conversations, on the couch, in a fight, at representing this guy is just a person. He's a human, and he's been beat up over the years.
Yeah, it was a good scene because you get to see that he deserves the superhero mantle.
Yeah.
He wiped those guys out like Batman real quick. But it also like foreshadowing, like if it's going to be the new Avengers, and like me and Jerry were talking about last week in the comics, is Kate Bishop does replace Hawkeye. A lot of people, are talking about it'd be great to see Hawkeye become the father role, kind of like if Hawkeye is the one to bring the new Avengers together the same way. We talked about, Coulson.
Coulson.
See, like do it that way or something. I think he'd be a perfect role because here is the average guy who's been there from day one, he's not Thor, and he is sitting back playing the Nick Fury role and the Agent Coulson role and putting it together. Yeah.
So let's get back to this, and I'll ask you guys a question what you thought. But when Yelena and Kate were having that conversation in the house, and Yelena's like talking to her about Clint, and dude, like Yelena was even convincing me, like maybe I don't know a lot, like maybe I don't know the full truth behind the way Clint is. Like she was doing a good job at like changing even my mind. And there's a lot that we really don't know about Clint, and this episode didn't tell us. There is that time as the Ronin. There is the shady stuff going on behind the scenes with the wife. Like, I don't know exactly what's going on. What do you guys think? Did that conversation maybe lead you to question Clint, his life, his decisions, his motives a little bit?
I'll let you go first, Trill.
Yeah, like a little bit. Like, I really enjoyed that scene. Like, I felt like that was a really like powerful scene between the two of them.
Yeah.
And it kind of seems like they're going to start building up that relationship just like how Clint and Natasha had. And I feel like that's going to be like,
that's a good
I think that's going to be like the new relationship, like between them as like friends and whatnot.
Yeah, between the Widow and the Hawkeye. Yeah.
Yeah. And like she made it very convincing. Like, oh, you've only known him a week and he convinced you to think that, like, while she probably knows a little bit more stuff about him because of Natasha having that relationship with him and whatnot. And especially like, what was it when he was sent out to take out Natasha or whatever from S.H.I.E.L.D. and whatnot, and he didn't do it. Because I remember in the Black Widow movie, when Natasha and Yelena met up for the first time after a long time, they were in that house or that apartment, and there was holes, and she thought it was bullet holes, but it was actually arrow holes and stuff like that in the walls. So I don't know. Clint could really have like a really dark past that we don't really know yet, but there's a possibility, I think.
I thought the scene, and I'll let you go right after this, Cap. I just want to make this one point, that the scene and us as the viewer made you question, like, do I really know Clint that well? This is the first deep dive we're really getting into anything Clint Barton. As he, like, we're on the same level of knowledge, I guess you could say, as Kate is, right? All we've seen of Clint is him doing the good things in the Avengers movies, right? But we haven't seen until now anything deeper beyond that. So
it's pretty cool to see you guys like think about this, because from knowing like some of the comics and stuff, Clint started off as a bad guy. So his past before, like what led him up to becoming a weapon, you know, his early life, the early stages before Hawkeye turned good, was all, you know, assassinations, robberies, screwing people over and stuff. He was a hitman for hire, basically. I don't know. I don't want to tie him to any organization because, you know, I don't want to say the wrong thing or anything like that. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure his origin story is from maybe his original origin story is he was a good trick shot from the circus, and then it led him to, you know, smaller crimes, and it snowballed, and he became better and better at fighting and all that stuff, and then he became an assassin, and then eventually I don't know what changed him and what, you know, how Shield picked him up, or, you know, he could have been in this universe, he could have been working with Shield the whole time, doing their dirty work. You know, they were in a clean organization.
Yeah. You're making the same point I'm making. We know just as much about Clint as Kate does, right? Because we first saw Clint in the 2012 Avengers movie, right? Is that the first appearance?
Well, I always knew he was an assassin that eventually went good, just like Natasha.
But because you read the comic books,
right?
You know, but I'm saying if we only watched the movies and like,
you wouldn't have,
right?
That's why I'm saying it's a great thing to see that, you guys don't know the comic book history of it, where I kind of do. So when she was saying that, it wasn't surprising to me, but she's also under the same mindset. Like when we first saw Natasha, she might have a very, Yelena might have a very similar story arc to Natasha. Because when Natasha first showed up, it was, I got red on my ledger. Ledger. She kind of feels the same way. And she's also talking about how much blood follows Clint. Just the same. You're not defined by who you are. It's or something like that. Yeah, by what you say. It's by you're defined by what you did.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was Natasha Romanoff's story arc before, you know, and she is what she did, and she sacrificed herself for the Soul Stone.
Yeah.
Nope.
Well put, definitely. Yeah. What do you want to go into next about the episode?
Well, then there was the fight. What happened after that? They all went back to the dudes.
Yeah, they hailed that Uber cab or whatever back to
that house. That was something I actually liked, because to point out from my earlier point, she's learning. She had an escape plan, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she learned how to track his phone, she's learning these little things finally and picking up where, like, we're starting to see the hero in her. And, you know, she's a normal human being. So when she's older, she's going to be beat up. Clint's just trying to, you know, help her out.
Yeah, definitely.
And then we're getting pretty much to the end. Then we saw Yelena. The second I saw Yelena, go ahead.
I was going to say one part we kind of missed was Jack, right? That the mom, the mom, you know, she did explain. Kate did explain to the mom that, you know, what they figured out about Jack, that he's shady, and you know, when she gets back to the apartment there after that scene with the cab, you know, she sees that he's being arrested and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so. Even when she was telling the mom, though, I got the vibe something's wrong with the mom. Like, the mom had like a stone cold reaction. Like, imagine if your husband or whatever, your fiance, someone just told you they're like a murdering criminal mob boss or whatever, and you just have you have no reaction to it whatsoever. So you know, the mom, I knew something was off about her.
Oh yeah.
I got the villainous vibe the second she told her it, and then the whole thing with him getting arrested was super fishy.
Oh yeah,
as well. That whole, I never worked. You're a billionaire. I never worked a day in my life. Like, they're taking him up on taxes and stuff. Just the whole thing didn't seem right.
So do we think Jack is a bad guy, or he's maybe being framed, or we're being misled about him? What do you guys think?
Ooh, a few things. I don't know.
My thing is that I think that he actually could be a good guy, because actually in the comic books he's the swordsman.
Yeah, but the swordsman fakes that he's a good guy to get.
Yeah. I mean, doesn't he also train Clint or whatever in the comics?
I think in one of the origins or something like that. Yeah, possibly.
Something like that, right?
Yeah. Jerry knew something about that last week.
Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like maybe in the MCU he could be getting framed by the mother, and he could actually try to be somewhat good, trying to figure out what's going on with like this whole underground syndicate in New York City and whatnot. So I don't know. It could be a little twist that the MCU is doing for us. So I don't know.
He's a triple agent, right? Like,
yeah,
you think he's a bad guy. He's really the good guy, and then he really ends up being the bad guy again. After all, maybe.
Yeah. So in the comic book, he ended up, he was a bad guy, but he tricked the Avengers into letting him join.
Oh yeah.
So can he be making it look like he's being framed so he could do that?
Yes, right.
I think so. But also, I kind of feel like he's in on it. I even feel like the cops might have not even really been cops. Like they might have just did that to quiet, to shut Kate up and just be like, well, they looked into it, honey, and they didn't find, because like he was so sure, like,
yeah,
we're gonna find out that that was fishy.
What a terrible mother! Like, why are you deceiving your child who you've not really treated the best over, as we've seen, from the show? Like, hasn't been very loving and caring about. I mean, she pretends like she has been, but I don't think she really has. Well, I don't feel genuine love there.
What would drive a wealthy, educated young woman to a life of vigilantism? I don't know. If your mother was a crime syndicate kingpin, working with,
neglect from your parents.
Right?
Yeah.
Yep. Good point.
But the second I saw Elena tailing Eleanor, I knew. I was like, that's who hired her to kill Clint. And then who wants to ruin the very final scene? That was
go for it.
Fantastic. Trail, you're the guest, man. Tell us what happened.
Oh man. So pretty much Elena is like following her, and she's following her to like some building or whatever, and then she's texting Kate. She's like, I found out who hired me. It's your mother or whatever, and then sends the video of her meeting up with the Kingpin. This dude.
Fantastic.
And I knew it was gonna happen. I knew it was coming up because the little hints that like Echo is supposedly the Kingpin's daughter or adopted daughter and whatnot. And then that one scene, I think it was in episode 3 when she was like a little girl. You see him go up to her and pinch her little cheek, and you hear the laugh and whatnot. So I was like, yeah, this dude is definitely behind the whole big scheme of everything that is going on and whatnot, and he's the big boss, Yep. So
I'm excited, and it's Vincent D'Onofrio, right?
Yeah.
Who did a fantastic job.
Beautiful job
in the Daredevil scene. I was wrong. I didn't think it was going to be him. I thought it was going to be Jack. At the end of the day, it was going to be the ultimate villain of this, but it seems to obviously be the Kingpin. Yeah. So here's my question to you guys now, right?
Well, there's a lot to unpack in this still. Yeah.
Yeah, we will, right? Here's my first question, right? Do you guys think it's the MCU's Kingpin, or is it the Netflix Kingpin, and the Netflix stuff was in a different universe? Like, what do you guys think? You think it's just, are you going to now say that the Netflix shows and that iteration of Kingpin and Daredevil, they were just in the MCU the whole time? Because they were vague back in those shows, if it was or it wasn't. They mentioned the Battle of New York, but they never specifically, you never saw the Stark Tower in the shots of New York. So it was very vague. What do you guys think?
I think it's going to be the Netflix carrying over into the MCU, because Charlie Cox has been confirmed as coming back to the MCU. I don't know if he's been confirmed. I know he's been in talks. I know he's made some, he said some things on Twitter, possibly. John Bresnell, how do you say his last name?
Bernthal. Yeah.
He's willing to do the Punisher again, and they're thinking of bringing him back. Danny Rand and Luke Cage were always their own little thing, heroes for hire. They'd be a better Disney Plus show than a movie. I never heard of Jessica Jones too much before.
I liked her.
Oh no, it was good, but
I don't think I finished the second season, but the first one was great.
Oh, the first season was phenomenal.
But so I think we're gonna find out it was all the same universe, but these guys just never got involved. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And but yeah, I don't think it's gonna be a new one where they're not gonna know. They might just never mention like Luke Cage again or anything like that.
Yeah, I really like it, and I do think it is going to be the Netflix Kingpin, because I feel like there definitely is a group of people who didn't watch those shows. Yeah. So now, like, you're gonna see that, it's the Kingpin, and like you don't know what's coming. Like they don't know viewers. Like, this guy is a great villain, and he's like, I enjoyed that. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, like, some good shit is coming. Like, we finally get, probably, honestly, in my opinion, the best Marvel villain that exists, in my opinion, right? Like, yes, Thanos was great and Ultron is great, but man, Kingpin he's like he's multifaceted. He's just a human at the end of the day. New Yorker, big, strong dude, and perfectly casted with Vincent D'Onofrio, obviously. So I'm excited about it, definitely.
I have a theory. I think we might actually, there might be some type of reference, because don't forget, Kingpin is a Spider-Man villain as well.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised to see him, if that's how the movie gets tied into the Hawkeye show, and just, you know, that'd be another great little Easter egg.
Maybe he could bounce around, you know, throughout all the projects, because he's a New York villain.
So some things to unpack now. You brought up the question before. Yelena is saying you don't know Clint's past. You should wonder who hired you. Maybe they're telling you Clint's past. So is the mother making up Clint's past to motivate Yelena more to go after him and kill him? You know?
Mother? What I mean, the mother.
Eleanor hired Yelena to hire to kill Hawkeye. She told Elena the history of Hawkeye, or her history of Hawkeye, and sent her to go kill her. Maybe Elena is being thrown off, and maybe Hawkeye's past really isn't that bad.
I mean, but you know, at least for her purposes, she wants to get revenge for Natasha. Like, we do know that's he didn't murder her. It wasn't in bad blood. He tried to save her, and she just bested him in that situation in Endgame. It's not that he did anything wrong, obviously. Yeah.
I got to rewatch Black Widow. I never made it through. I keep falling asleep.
It's interesting, because now I'm wondering if the mom is tied to Valentina, whatever her name is. Because it seems like there's this organization in the background and whatnot, right?
Because I thought she was the one that hired Yelena to take out Hawkeye, because that was at the end of the movie.
At the end of Black Widow, right? Valentina gives Yelena, we want to find out who killed your sister. Gives them the picture of her, the picture of Clint. It's like, this is who did it. So I knew that was coming, and there's some misdirection. There's some misleading of Yelena going on, and now we see, look, it's related to Kate's mom, right? So I don't know. There's some connections behind.
So the chick who hired John Walker was at the end of Black Widow.
Yes. Right. Gives Yelena a picture of Clint. Says this is who killed Natasha.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Hey, they could be at the top of an organization, and the Kingpin could be running it.
Right. Yeah. Right. Maybe.
Could be.
Theory time. Maybe the Kingpin, he's trying to put together his own Avengers team. Yeah. Right. Because that's the kind of fucking villain that the Kingpin is.
Yeah, he's already got his own little Captain America.
Yeah.
Now he's going to have his own Black Widow.
If you're the Kingpin, I can't beat these superheroes the first time around when I tried, right? So I'm going to need to make my own team of superheroes to fight back against them and manipulate everybody. I can see something like that going down.
It could be that could be the route that they're going. Like, he could be the reason why the Thunderbolts come together, because that's pretty much what these characters are going to form. They're going to form the Thunderbolts. It's pretty much like the Dark Avengers. And you're going to have the dark versions of each of the regular Avengers and whatnot.
Right.
So this could be a possibility that Kingpin could be on top of this and forming this team together or whatnot with all these other characters. So
he's like their Fury.
Could be.
That's how they could get Deadpool in.
Yeah. One other question I want to ask you guys. Yes. Yeah. That would be really cool. What do you guys think about Clint's wife? Like, there's more there. Than we.
I think she's ex-Shield. I think maybe that's how Shield. I think. All right, so this theory is just forming in my head now, but by the time we figure out what Clint's wife's history is about, is what we're going to see what Clint's life was like before he was a good guy picked up by Shield. You know what I'm saying? So we might get like a scene of that, and it'll unfold more. So, and Skaggs just froze. There you go. Back.
No, I'm just not moving. What do you think?
But you know who I think she actually is? I think she's Mockingbird from the comic books, because Mockingbird does get married to Hawkeye, and they do have a relationship together and whatnot. So I think she is Mockingbird, and she's a retired Shield agent, and I think that's why there's some connection with that Rolex watch. Because in that one episode, he did mention it belongs to a Shield agent that's been out of the game for a while. So I think it could be linked to his wife, who could be
interesting. Okay, now I'm looking up Mockingbird. I remember. Okay,
So that's what I think that
she looks interesting. I didn't even see that one coming. Okay. That's a very good theory. I like that a lot.
Yeah, right. So I think that could be
hero. That'd be cool.
What's going on?
Interesting. We'll see how it goes, right? Because now the whole family's is being threatened, right? So I think there is going to be the final showdown, obviously, where like Clint's family is going to be in jeopardy. Yeah. Everybody's going to come to a head in the final thing that happens. Is what I'm assuming. And then
you think we'll see Charlie Cox at all?
No, I don't.
No?
I do think we'll see Kingpin, and I think it's all gonna come to a head with all these characters that are like main fixtures of the show clashing and sorting it out. And I think that is where Kate is going to prove herself as a superhero worthy, because she's going to do something or save somebody. Maybe it's going to be
the shot she doesn't take. Just like I think she's going to have the chance to kill Elena. And like she doesn't take it, and it kind of the same story arc.
Right, it's gonna be her foundational moment of like I prove myself as a hero.
Well, like Colossus from Deadpool says, 2 or 3 moments at most define what make you a hero.
Yeah,
true, man. So what do you guys want to rate this episode?
Trill, you go first.
Yeah, this episode, I would give it like a solid 8.5. I would give it an 8.5.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
So Jerry had a point where we do rate things pretty high because we get excited. Mm-hmm. Whereas, like if Kingpin is fighting and there's a Mockingbird shows up in the last, episode, that's like a 10. So I'm giving this a 7.5. It had everything. I know. I just it is, but I want to try and start dialing it back, because if listen, I would love to give this, this episode was great. I want to give it a 10, but I'm dialing it back because I think we're going to see bigger, better, and crazier. And the story's just going to unfold.
Rating this episode based off what another episode is going to be, though?
That's fine. It's my prerogative.
All right, fine. Yeah. I'm going to give it a 10. All right, because sorry to cut you off, but I'm giving it a fucking 10 because when I watch an episode, I want it to be deep. I want to be entertained. I want there to be like mystery. I want to be like thinking and figuring things out. And this episode did every single one of those things to me. It gave you the teaser and the big reveal and the fight scene and everything. So sorry to cut you off, but
it's okay.
I'm giving it a 10. Sorry, Jerry.
The one thing I really do like about what I've been seeing in Hawkeye, being an ex-Walking Dead fan, they could not figure out how to do a cliffhanger. Their cliffhangers were continuous garbage nightmares.
Yep.
But Hawkeye, they almost leave every episode on some sort of a cliffhanger, and they are done perfectly.
Yeah.
These are suspenseful, intense. It's because Walking Dead, it was always, did they live or did they die? Oh, they died. I can promise you they died. This is like what's going to happen next of a cliffhanger. So I really appreciate that they could nail this.
Yeah. And anybody besides me still watching The Walking Dead? I know you left with Rick, right? You got on the
I left with Rick, and then I really enjoyed Fear the Walking Dead.
Okay.
When Morgan came on. That was pretty good. But I just never finished it.
What about you, Trill? Sorry.
I pretty much, what was it? I stopped watching The Walking Dead after that first season with Negan. Like after that, I was just like,
after they killed Glenn.
Yes, there was like some other killings and whatnot. I was just like, all right, this is just getting like out of hand and whatnot. I was like, I can't do this no more. Like it's just like they're killing this show. Like I don't get it. But
once this is the final season for The Walking Dead, right?
Yeah.
And that's what, season 11 or whatever, or 10?
I think so. Something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
So what I do, I really did enjoy it all the way up to it. And now that the universe is spread out and the movies are coming and stuff, and they're finally talking about the movies, once season 10 is done and it gets ready to get put on Netflix, I'm going to start season 1, episode 1. At least, through the crappier seasons, I won't have to sit through the 60, the 55 minutes of commercial for the 5 minutes of airtime they had.
Yep.
Once it's over, I'm gonna have to find somebody who actually I want a doomed review the final season of The Walking Dead, but nobody's watching it besides me. I'm not gonna just sit here and talk to myself.
They don't even have Chris Hardwick's show Talking Dead anymore,
I
right?
think they still do.
Oh, they don't have that? No.
He got in trouble for some.
That was all bullshit.
Okay.
So he did anything wrong, but sorry to go off on a tangent here.
It's fine.
About the Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead, man, used to be good, and there was only the one season for the kids, right, where they go to New York or something.
Two. I just finished that, which was a good show. That was a good show. I enjoyed
that. Was something I started and never finished, and I didn't think that was bad. So
it's good.
I just got to finish
that. It's good. The Walking Dead World Beyond. That was good.
Gotcha.
So yeah, you guys want to add anything else? Or talk about anything else from the Hawkeye?
I'm good. I mean, Trill, when you seen Spider-Man?
Tomorrow at 3 p.m.
the first showing possible.
Is tomorrow's? Oh, you're seeing it on Thursday.
Yep.
Good for you, bro. Good for you. Okay.
Is the release date Friday? Like, I don't know how they do these things anymore. Is the release date technically Friday, and now they've moved midnight release up till 3 p.m. the afternoon before? Yeah, Clown World. Nothing makes sense anymore. So.
I don't get it, but like the movie industry, like it was the midnight releases, and then like a few years ago they changed it to like Thursday night, and then I don't know, now after like Ronin and whatnot, they changed it to like 3 p.m. now, Thursday, and I'm like, I don't know what the hell's going on, but
in a few years, it's going to be like it comes out on Tuesday, and then they release it on Sunday, and it'd be like, no, but it comes out on Tuesday though.
When the trailer drops is when the movie drops. Like you'll be able to
essentially.
Well, they'll still pretend like the release date is the day that just nothing makes sense anymore.
It's just crazy, bro.
They've been doing that with video games. Like Halo came out and came out like on the 8th, but the multiplayer and all the other stuff came out like weeks before. So it's like you don't even have like an actual release date anymore. It's like a mumbo jumbo mixture of
money money now. Put money in my hand now.
So we'll see, man. We got how many more episodes of Hawkeye are there?
That was one more.
Is the next one is the last one, right?
That's it. Last one next week.
Oh boy!
Gotta see. I like it so far. We've rotated a guest for each review. Yeah. Maybe we'll bring everybody together if possible.
Fucking a final one. Like an Avengers assemble.
Yes. Everybody who was doing the reviews for this season. We'll bring everybody in. Yeah. It'll be a lot, but we'll see.
Holy shit, that's gonna be dope.
Yeah.
See, but now on the first review of Hawkeye, you said, how come they're doing 2 the first week, remember? And I said, probably because they're going to end when Spider-Man comes out.
That's exactly why.
So now the last episodes after Spider-Man comes out, I wouldn't be something surprised.
No, it's still before. The last episode is next Wednesday, and Spider-Man comes out on Thursday, right?
Yeah, this week.
Tomorrow. Yeah,
tomorrow.
Oh, you're right. Sorry. Yeah.
So now I'm going to be on the lookout for the Hawkeye. I doubt it, but it'd be awesome if they do it for any Easter eggs of what happens in Spider-Man in the final episode of Hawkeye. Because
maybe
So let's just say
but what if you didn't have a chance within the week to me? I might not have a chance
I get
to see
that,
Spider-Man and those.
But what if it comes out?
Yeah, they're not. I don't think they're going to spoil it for you. Within
but no, what thing. Disney is ruthless. They want their money now.
Not, I mean, yes, they are,
but money.
But that doesn't make them
see it
money.
Day one.
Spider-Man, they're running a no spoilers campaign themselves, which I shared and you shared. They made a poster of Spider-Man saying.
But I mean, but then it just really comes down to, okay, don't watch Hawkeye until you can watch Hawkeye whenever. You don't gotta be like this kid watching.
All right, now you're playing games with me, the viewer. I don't think so, dude. I don't think they're gonna have any.
But I think the show has a really strong connection with the movie because it's gonna bounce off of each other, and there's gonna be like things you're gonna be like, oh shit, like.
Well, I mean, everything that we've seen other than Falcon and Winter Soldier ties into, something going wrong in the multiverse. What if Doctor Strange, WandaVision? So I wouldn't be surprised if there's some pinpoint in the last episode where shit's going haywire.
Yeah, could be. So, I think so.
All right.
They do a lot of continuity, man. So it would make sense.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, it's all right, man. That's a wrap. Right. Trill. See you on Saturday for the Christmas.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Where can everybody find you, Trill?
You can find me on Instagram at Trillboy15. Also, too, you could catch me on Twitch. I'm Twitch streaming now, doing video games and whatnot. So you can catch me at Trillboy 15 there. And then every Tuesday, you can catch us on the Last Slice podcast on
there
YouTube.
We go.
So there you go.
All right, Trill, thank you, man. It was a great time. Great talking to you. Doom Nation, as always, thank you. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Check out our boy Trill and the Last Slice podcast and check him out on Twitch. Doom Nation, thank you. See you guys later.
Later.